It's my favorite anime comedy.
Until prison school.
Oh my god.
Honey.
My friend, you are like the embodiment of chaotic
I'm just here
evil.
to just cause shit now.
You are literally in Inosuke, bending over backwards, just cackling to yourself.
No, the thing is, like, I very rarely meet chaotic neutral people. Lily is a chaotic neutral. I never thought I would actually meet one, but that's what she is.
Welcome to the box, the NA chat box, the course where 5 friends snuggle up in a teeny tiny box to talk about all things anime. I'm your host, Craig, and it has been 84 years since I've literally done this shit. Welcome to part 2 of our end of the year 2019 special. Cass called it the Bonanza. I'm just gonna call it
2019 end of the year banana.
I'm going to call it end of the year Bananya.
I love it. You must title each episode accordingly, by the way.
I'm going to call it Banana, and then I'm going to put in parentheses Banana, and then for part 2 Bananya, so to distinguish them.
Perfect. I love it. 10 out of 10.
In part 1 we had Cammy, myself, and Lily's top 6s, and along with honorable mentions and a bonus awards. We're going to continue that trend tonight with Cass and John's picks, as well as mini awards to go along with that. So, without further ado, let me introduce everyone who's here. We have the producer extraordinaire, Cass.
That's me.
Yeah.
That is you.
No!
That is... What?
Are you okay?
I don't know.
What?
I just wanted to do it once to make Cammy laugh. That's all I got.
I caught it. I appreciate you so much. And guess what, Cassie? Your jacket, though. I have your jacket, though.
No idea what they're talking about.
It's okay. It's fine.
The one who's concerned in the other room is Lily.
Hi.
More
I'm
anime,
playing Tokyo Mirage Sessions and not paying that much attention, but it's okay, because my picks were in the last episode. Also, you should watch Thunderbolt Fantasy.
Oh my god!
You
know,
should.
I'm gonna get up and walk. I'm getting up and walking away.
Oh, whoa, I heard her walk away. Cassie, but Cassie, your jacket, though!
She already introduced herself, so the one that has her jacket on the East Coast is the Prussian Cinnamon Roll of the pod, Cammy.
What's up, everybody? First off, Craig is a superhero. I was supposed to host, but I woke up with a killer sore throat, so he is the best.
How's your throat treating you?
It's doing okay. We got a fresh cup of tea, and I took another Advil, so we'll be good.
Nice. Nice.
Yes, and to shout out to the reference, basically, go on YouTube and look up Key and Peele, Megan and Andre. It's like one of the skits that they do, and it's really funny. And I showed it to Cassie and Zach last night, so I much appreciate the shared inside joke.
Right on. And over across the pond, we have the gentleman one, Jojo, Jonathan Joestar.
The gentleman one?
I love it.
The one who is a gentleman?
Yes.
Hello.
I love you guys. Don't ever change.
It's been 84 years, and yet I still somehow have a semblance of this hosting thing.
You do.
Yeah.
God damn it. Okay, as I said before, we got some top 6s and honorable mentions and some more mini awards. First up is Cass. You have your top 6 through 4 and your honorable mentions. Starting with your honorable mentions.
Sure.
What do you got?
So one of my honorable mentions is a travesty because I wanted to put it on my top 6 list, but couldn't because it got screwed over in its second half of production, and I am so sorry. I have a dog running around in the background, so Please ignore that if you can. Sorry, guys. Anyway, but Hoshiai no Sora, or Stars Align, was an amazing show. It had amazing representation of gay characters, non-binary characters. Also touched on dark themes with a lot of care, such as child abuse and neglect, overprotective parenting, shadow parenting, helicopter parenting, whatever you want to call it. It had a lot of stuff going on that was really interesting that all of these different boys were going through while simultaneously kind of finding an outlet in soft tennis. So it was a really, really cool combo. I was really, really into it. But I guess the show is supposed to be too core, and last minute they were like, nope, you only get 12 episodes, so it just ends. It just ends, and it ends on a cliffhanger, and half the story's gone. I can't put it on my list if it's not a finished product. It has a beginning, middle, and almost end, and it just dies, and it's unfortunate. But the show's really good. I highly recommend watching it, but again, you'll end up like me, super disappointed that there isn't any more.
Yep, that was the same with me.
I think that the director said that he's going to try like his best to find another way to either get a continuation or find some other way to release the story, either via like manga or like light novel or something. Like he's trying to figure something out, but as of right now there hasn't been any announcement for a continuation of this story, which is honestly a tragedy. It would have been on my top 6 otherwise. Happier news. So I got back into Chihaya Furu this year.
Yay!
And it was a show that I really, really liked. Years ago, I think I even had Craig watch the first couple episodes in Rock, Paper, Scissors anime.
Right.
Which, for a quick rundown, what we do sometimes is when we're in a group on a Saturday night and we have nothing to do, we play Rock, Paper, Scissors. And the person who wins gets to introduce everybody to an anime of their choice. And one time I picked Chihaya Furu, and this was long before me and Cammy had even met. And I really liked it. And then I fell off, like, sometime in the first season, like, the second half of the first season. I thought I had gotten to season 2. I hadn't. I figured that out when I did my rewatch this year. But I was like, you know what? A third season's coming. I might as well just dabble and see if I really like it. And then I hit it up on a line and snorted it like a line of cocaine. Like,
yeah!
I pounded that into my system in, like, a week. And I'm only a couple episodes behind now, so shoutouts to Chihaya Furu and Chihaya Furu Season 3, which I'm a couple episodes behind on. I obviously couldn't put it on my list because I haven't finished it. For my last 2 things I wanted to talk about, one is just a shame thing. I really was into Vinland Saga the first 3 episodes. I didn't finish it. I didn't have time, and I think me and Lily said we were going to watch together, and I didn't have the heart to go on without her. No matter how many times she said, leave me!
Leave
go
me!
On.
Leave me to fucking die!
I mean, I can't do that.
Yes, you can!
I mean, I can go and watch an anime without you, sure, but I'm not gonna leave you to die.
Leave me to die.
Nah. Anyway, Vinland Saga looked like it was gonna be really important, and I'm sure it is a very important show. It's honestly a lot of people I know's #1 anime of the entire year, let alone its season. So it's a lot of people's anime of the year. I think you can even vote for it, and the Crunchies is one of those options. It's super, super different from what we would, what we would normally get from an anime, and I'm really sad I didn't watch it, because I was pretty hype when I talked about it in our seasonal splash tank this year. The only other thing that I wanted to do a toss out to was Beastars, because I really loved that show, and I had to make a cut somewhere. And I'm only holding out because I'm hoping that once season 2 is released, I can put it right back up at the top of my list, because that show is phenomenal. I'm happy that it was Cammy's #1 of the year. I'm happy somebody else watched it. I'm happy that lots of people are watching it, actually. I think it's gotten some pretty good traction in the community.
Yeah!
And as it should. And it's got beautiful CGI animation. I'm normally not somebody who would really be a fan of that, but in addition to the CGI, which is done beautifully, they also take time to experiment with other animation types throughout the show. There's like a scene where Haru is running and it's kind of like a watercolory kind of thing.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my god, I don't know what I did to deserve this, but thank you.
That was absolutely beautiful. And then like Louis' flashback too was done differently.
Yeah. So they experiment with a lot of different kinds of art styles, and not just CGI. So definitely, if you have not watched Beastars, watch Beastars. It's one of the best anime of this year, even though it didn't make my top 6. If there was a top 10, it would definitely have been on there.
Yay!
Okay, so that wraps up my honorable mentions. Originally, I was going to throw Star Twinkle on there too, but I feel like I need to watch more Star Twinkle. So maybe Star Twinkle will be on my list next year when we look back. Maybe it'll be like Hug Toe for Cammy.
There you go. Yep.
But going to my number 6 pick, this has appeared on a couple of other people's lists, I believe, and that's Araburu Kisetsu no Otome Domoyo, or Oh Maidens in Your Savage Season.
Nice.
Which is the Mario Kata show about coming of age and sexuality in young women. It's great. It's wonderful. A lot of the relationships that are built in a very short period of time are entirely believable. I will say that in the latter half, I felt like the melodrama was turned up to like 15.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
A lot.
When most of the show was at like a solid 8. Like, it was dramatic, but it wasn't like, all right, I need y'all to fucking calm down. And that's probably why it got bumped down a few pegs on my list, because I loved how overdramatic the girls themselves were in the first half, because they're teenage girls, and it explored how those emotions can explode internally. But the way that the plot kind of took a turn for the melodramatic in the latter half kind of knocked it down a few pegs. But it's still a solid show. I love it a lot. The animation is beautiful. And, we need more shows that explore the fact that women think about and consider and are confused about sex, too. It's good shit. My number 5 is Sara Zenmai.
Yes!
Which was the Iku show that appeared on both Cammy and Craigslist. I can't remember was it your guys' 5 too, or was it something else?
It was my 6, so you and I actually just swapped with O Maidens and
Swappy swappies. Neat. But yeah, it was a solid show, a solid Ikuhara show. It's not my favorite of his. I don't think it was like Cammy's favorite of his either. But it is still a solid, good show, and it's still one of the better animes to come out in the last couple of years. It's just so very different. I think that in the last couple of years, especially, a lot of shows have become very predictable. The genres have become very predictable. And it's very rare that you get to see something so very new. And Sarazen Mai is not like anything else you've ever watched, I promise. So definitely give it a try if that's your thing. I think I said when we were talking about the openings and EDs last episode, if anything, go check out the ED for this show. Stand By Me. It's really good. I like Sarazen Mai. I can't really say a whole lot about it that everybody else hasn't said already. It's a really solid Ikuhara show. And it's fun. Also, you should get really high and watch it.
No! Good lord.
I want to go back and do a rewatch of Sarazen Mai just completely blitzed. It would be amazing.
That'd be fun, not gonna lie.
I want to maybe don't do that for your first outing, but, you know. So, my number 4, so I can take a break and make sure this dog will chill. My number 4 is Carol and Tuesday.
Yay!
Which is, again, I'm not being very original today. It might be a little bit more original towards the top, I don't know. But Carol and Tuesday is a really good and solid music show. It's beautiful, gorgeous, best OST of the entire year, and probably one of the best OSTs of the decade, in my opinion, anime OSTs. Mm-hmm. It's just so very musically oriented. I, like Cammy, have been listening to this music from the soundtrack at least 60 times a day. Every day. When we were on our commute, I think it was last Friday, I was like, I've listened to Mother like 6 times on the train and I feel like I'm gonna cry. And she's like, why would you do that to yourself this early in the morning? And I was like, I don't know, I just want to feel. She's like, you fool. But yeah, it's a good album. It's good anime. You guys should watch it. Love it. It's pretty. Watanabe's great. Maybe one day I'll watch Cowboy Bebop.
Right? Same.
It's good. Why?
You're good.
No?
Yeah.
But thanks, I guess.
There you go.
You said Cowboy Bebop is good in a way like you think I'm in denial it's good. Like, I understand it's good.
That means you should watch it.
I mean, there are lots of things that are good that I should watch, like Vinland Saga. Were you paying attention?
No, I've been playing Tokyo Mirage Sessions. Also, please leave me to die.
Also, hashtag leave me to
Leave
die.
me to die. Yeah.
Anyway, that was my 6 through 4.
Yay!
There you go.
Whoa! All right, moving right along now to our next award. Biggest ripoff award, aka the biggest waste of time of 2019. Cass, you're not done talking.
Oh, son of
Go
a
back.
bitch.
Go back.
I just picked up the dog.
I have a dog in my hands.
I have a dog in my hands. What do I do? I've forgotten how to speak. I've forgotten how to read. Everything's going nuts.
Throw her over the bridge.
Ichigo can just take a big poop on your biggest riff-off award winner.
And that goes to Assassin's Pride, which is
Bye.
a show that I dumped a lot of time into, and will continue to dump a lot of time into because I haven't finished it yet. But it's not even like junk food. It's like nothing about it is good. Like nothing. There is nothing good about Assassin's Pride.
Then why do you have such investment?
I don't know.
Probably
I've
the
watched
same
videos
reason.
about this. It's a phenomenon. There are plenty of people who are like, this is absolute garbage. And I'm like, Annie-tubers have been making videos about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not just me.
Huh.
There's something about Assassin's Pride that if you watch it, you can't look away.
That's
It's kind of like a train wreck, really. And it's awful and it's a waste of time and you really shouldn't keep looking at it. You should probably get to work or go on with your day. But there you are, watching Assassin's Pride.
That sounds incredibly depressing. I'll be sure to never do that.
Yeah, so R.I.P. my life, R.I.P. my time.
Oh.
Assassin's
All right.
Pride, everybody.
Assassin's Pride. Cammy.
It's Magical Senpai or Tejina Senpai. Short and sweet to the point.
Yes.
I did not like this show.
The boobs. The boobs.
I hate the animation of this show, like, especially.
But
Yeah.
Cammy, what
Yeah.
about the snaggletooth?
Yeah, no, that's the worst part. I can't scream about it right now because I'm sick, but if you want to go back to our episode, I think it was Welcome to the Annie Soapbox, a few episodes back,
Yes.
you can hear me just lose my fucking mind about the snaggletooth in this anime, and the fact that the snaggletooth doesn't remain consistently on one side of the chick's mouth.
Oh my god, that would be
yeah.
annoying.
And it's like the skin-colored snaggletooth, so it just like it's just so badly drawn, and her face always looks like it's in an Ahegao face, and it's just like ugly fan service and annoying
Yeah.
There's
characters.
no point. Nothing
Yes.
happens.
I like kind of like backseat watched as Cassie was
Losing her mind.
was marathoning through this show like last minute, and I was really glad I dodged that bullet.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's pretty. That makes it a point. Shout outs to Cassie for being the one brave enough to burn it.
Yeah, that's me.
I would have
With the
done it if I
dog.
was on it, but yeah.
True.
You won't escape next time.
Oh no.
Honestly,
Speaking.
Oh, sorry.
go on.
I was just gonna say, honestly, it makes Miss Vampire, who lives in my neighborhood, like look absolutely great in comparison. And that
That's-
was another
yeah.
show I thought was kind of
If we-
boring, but like,
If we could swap them, like if we had reviewed like Tejina Senpai first and then Miss Vampire, I probably would have been like, yeah, like it, gets a like it. Perfect.
exactly.
Well, speaking of burning things, let me tell you about my biggest waste of time.
Oh,
Nice,
fun.
Craig. Nice.
Fire Force. David Productions' latest thing after JoJo's Part 5. Please, David, go back to JoJo Part 6, Stone Ocean, because I never finished that manga part,
Fucking
and I would
read
like to see...
Stone Ocean. It's so good.
Listen, I need to, and I also need to read Steel
You
Ball
need
Run.
read Steel Ball Run. It's so good.
I know.
It's
I
my
will.
favorite manga. Anyways,
That's
keep
high praise.
talking about the bad Fire.
Um, So I've talked about this at length on Save Our Progress, but short and sweet to the point. Fire Force is a disjointed production for me and themes in a lot of regards. This comes from the same guy that did Soul Eater, and I like Soul Eater despite that show's problems. However, this one has major problems in terms of its fan service. It literally shoves fan service. It's the Mineta effect from My Hero into one female. Everyone, she's the result of everyone groping her by accident. And you think, Craig, you watch shit, and you watch harem shit in High School DxD. You are correct. But here, I didn't like this, which is ironic because I like the world of Fire Force. I like the companies. I like the church and the like industrial shit and the businesses owning the patrol units. But no, I just didn't care. I hear that it goes places and it's already greenlit for season 2, but I just don't care. I tried. I got 8 episodes in and I just stopped.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. Next up we have Lily. What is your biggest waste of time this year? Did you even watch enough to warrant this?
I thought I didn't, and then I remembered me, Cassie, and Zach watched Boogie Pop Wa Night or Boogie Pop Phantom right in the beginning of winter.
Yep.
Yeah, that show was a fucking waste of time. Honestly, it didn't really have to do much to sell me on it. Honestly, I remember because that was one of my picks for that season. I watched the trailer and there was the girl punching things and I was like, all right, I'm in, I'm sold. Yeah, got very little of her doing that. So that was automatic mark against it. But also the mystery and the intrigue. The intrigue was very bland and not very well done. The show had very little atmosphere, I felt, for the kind of topics and scenarios it was dealing with. The atmosphere was nothing. So yeah, we ended up not finishing that show.
Yeah.
Because it was just very bland. It was very dry. Yeah, so that definitely wins my biggest waste of time.
You guys got farther than I did, and I commend you for that, because I was like, I like Boogie Pop, and it's kind of like the story structure is such that each arc focuses on a different ensemble part of the cast, but even the cast itself isn't really that interesting. So I was like,
none of the characters are particularly intriguing, or none of the character stories really got me invested. So it was try to stick with the mystery of what was going on, but it's really hard to, because the show is also very bad at trying to sell it. And then couple that with I'm not getting enough punching. I'm not getting the punching that I promised. So I didn't want to keep watching it. The OP's pretty good though. Pretty good song for the OP.
Yeah. Same with the ending.
Yeah, the ending.
Yeah, they're both pretty good, and give a completely different atmosphere. The show is. Yeah,
if the show felt more like the opening or the ending, it would have been way better, but it was not. So that sucked.
I didn't like it either. I didn't say a whole lot during that, but yeah, I was trying to, especially because we got so far in it. I was like, we gotta finish this, and then even I gave up. I was like, I just give up.
Yeah, it was a struggle. It sucks because that was our second show, and us trying to actually watch something weekly with Zach, and because that show was so underwhelming, it just completely ruined the entire momentum of what we had going on.
Yep, and we didn't watch anything since.
Yep.
It's interesting too, because it's directed by the One Punch Man guy, and you have Madhouse behind it, and it's just boring.
I hear Madhouse these days is a former shell of what it used to be. Which kind of explains why they haven't done a whole lot of note lately. I hear as far as the staff, it's not quite as good.
Yeah, I tried to give Madhouse another try with After Lost, and we all know how well that went.
Yeah.
Video games.
I don't think Madhouse is doing okay.
Yeah, I hear they are not.
John, are you okay after watching your biggest waste of time?
So, there's a thing called sunk cost fallacy. Which is where you invest so much time or money into something that you try to justify continuing with it.
Gotcha bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's that, yeah. Yeah, I was enjoying it when I first started watching it. Kenja no Mago, or the sorcerer's grandchild, and as I continued watching it, I ended up I was like, I've already watched this much, so I might as well. I've already watched this. I could just be watching Sword Art Online again, or something else that's better. Why am I still doing this? Because I've already watched all that.
And you finished it.
I should not have gotten into that series as far as I did. I should have just sunk it straight away. I did sink it, didn't I?
I mean, you sank it, but I guess you mean, like, give up on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I sunk it, and then I continued watching it anyway, and I shouldn't have. I should have just stopped at episode 3. It was just...
Well,
Yeah.
well, speaking of not stopping, you're not going to stop. You're talking more.
At least it's more positive stuff this time.
Right.
Although, on the opposite side, of like, instead of watching that, I could have watched one of these 3 things that I never even started.
There you
Which
go.
is why they're on my why these 3 are on my shout outs. Kaguya-sama, Love is War.
Fucking really, John?
I really was meaning to get to this one, but
Ah!
This is going to be the segment where I'm like, out of all of our lists, John is the wild card where I'm like, what did he even watch this year? Does he watch anime anymore?
I do.
Yes,
I mean, he's played
does.
Kingdom Hearts.
That's basically anime, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically.
This next one, I've already had a few people gasp that I haven't already started it, because
Swear to God.
Fate Grand Order.
John.
Exactly.
It's okay, it's just me.
Really been meaning to get to that one, I just haven't.
It's okay.
I'm going to fix these soon, and the last one of these 3 anyway is Carol and Tuesday.
Yeah, that John.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
to give... Well, actually, wait, no. I was going to say, if we recorded this closer to the beginning of the January, you would have had some credit, but it's been a good month since Part 2 dropped on the Netflix, so... What the fuck?
Exactly. And the last one in my honorable mentions is... I'm disappointed with myself for this one, because I was watching it, and it's here because I fell off of watching it, and I've been meaning to finish it, and I'm really kicking myself and beating myself up over this, and it's Fruits Basket.
What the
Exactly.
fuck?
At John, I'm with you. I feel you.
I really need to get back to it, and especially with the fact that season 2 is coming out, I'm definitely going to get caught up with it before season 2 drops.
Bless.
Well, yeah, there you go.
So that I can actually keep up with season 2 when that is. So yeah. But now I'm actually onto my top 6. And I've been humming and hawing about my top 6 like the entire time. But at number 6 is Lord El Malloy 2nd.
Oh my god! That makes me happy. Yeah.
There you go.
Like I really dove into the mystery part of it, and even though I couldn't even follow the logic that they were going through because it's all magic based, so
Right?
but I still really enjoyed pondering, humming and hawing, listening to all the theories being thrown around, and then finally getting the who done it through the why done it.
Yep.
And also just seeing more of Waver and
Yeah.
his development, where he is now from where he was at the end of Fate Zero, and just how he's developed during this series as well. And also Gray's cute.
Gray is so good. Gray is a great girl. And so is Rhinus. I love both of them. They're his daughters, his good daughter and his chaotic daughter.
Wasn't Rhinus the one that said, is actually related to Kenneth, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that I remember her.
Yeah, she's good. She's chaotic. I love her.
Mm.
And yeah, John, I remember we had a talk after we both finished it, and I told you, I was like, that one scene near the end made me cry, and then you're like, I know, right? And I was like, good solidarity right here.
Me too.
Yeah.
One thing I'm gonna quickly say here, that one thing that all of these 6 anime have in common is that every single one of them at some point had me instantly going onto, or wanting to instantly go onto IMs and like gush at someone or like shake the screen because I wanted the next episode or like talk about something that happened. At number 5 is Dr. Stern.
Dr. Stern?
Oh, nice!
Really enjoyed this one. Actually surprised me how much I enjoyed this one.
Right.
It's not perfect, but there's definitely a lot I enjoyed about this. Also, going back to the open EDs, I also really liked the first opening, the Hello Morning World. That was it.
Ohio Sakaga Morning World.
Yeah.
Good. It's good.
Like that little bit. And yeah, just like, oh, what's he gonna reinvent next? And all that aspect of it. I really enjoyed it. So yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And at number 4 is Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba.
Nice.
Yeah. Really enjoyed Tanjiro. Really enjoyed our chaotic boar child.
The poor son.
He's so pretty, though.
He's gorgeous. I was like,
very pretty.
Hold up.
And yeah, just like UFO Table putting out all the stops with the use of CG and hand drawn for action sequences that otherwise would have been like cut to pieces. They just like, no, we're having it one fluid scene because we can. There's a lot of spectacle here and a lot of really hype moments, especially towards the end. And yeah, super looking forward to the movie of that when that comes out.
Right on.
Yeah, that's my honorable mentions and 6, 5, and 4.
Bless.
All right, let us move forward into our next mini award of the evening, the Out of Left Field Award, aka the biggest surprise of anime 2019. Cass, you're up to bat.
I talked about this earlier in my honorable mentions, but it was completely out of left field that I was going to be absolutely obsessed with Chihaya Furu this year. I went back and watched all the 2 seasons that were out at the time within a week and a half, 2 weeks, and then I jumped right into the 3rd, and I had a lot of momentum with it, and I loved it, and I was not expecting to spend so much time, and I spent a lot of time crying. There was a lot of times where Lily would come out and be like, "You're still watching the crying anime?" And I'd be like, "Yes, I am! Yes, I am! It's very emotional, okay?"
It is.
And then Cammy was a sweetheart and got me season 1 Blu-rays, and I'll probably buy the season 2 when I can. But I might be able to rewatch it with Craig. I'm hoping maybe someday. I don't know.
Maybe.
He said maybe. But yeah, it's a really good show. I wasn't expecting to be as invested in it as I was, and I might even read the manga once I catch up on all my other manga, because I'm very invested in a very specific pairing, and Cammy gave me hope recently, and I'm like, oh, I gotta get there. Gotta get there! But yeah, I was not expecting to be so obsessed with it. It's good. It's a good show. If you haven't watched it already, go do it. Do it!
Right on.
A lot of crying.
Do it!
Yeah, there's a lot of crying. For me and from the show.
I saw a tweet recently that was talking about a specific episode in the 3rd season, but I think this covers the show as a whole. It was Chihaya Furu, more like Chihaya Feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically.
That's good.
And the thing is, it's not crying, melodramatic crying.
It's just lots of crying.
It's just people reach emotional heights in very specific situations, and there's a lot of reasons for them. to cry. I would not call Chihaya Furu melodramatic in any way, shape, or form. It's just very emotionally charged.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Cammy, what do you got for us?
Right. I have My Roommate is a Cat, which is a show that really just, like, it honestly was one of those shows that I was like, okay, this, surface level, this is going to be about a cat. I don't really like the main character. The art's kind of meh, because I believe it was Zero G who did it, haven't done a ton of stuff, and they don't have, like, the best track record. And even despite some shortcomings, this show just really... this show, I think, has a lot of heart and very genuinely goes out of its way to show you the value in having a pet and kind of moving past your grief, your depression, your loneliness, your anxiety to move towards a better life. And I absolutely love it for that. And it was just a really fun ride. And while it didn't make my list or honorable mentions, it's a great watch, and I think that people should give it a chance. It also has a really nice opening, like a very cutesy, bouncy opening. And I think I got, like, close to tears with the show sometimes because the emotional resonance was, like, really good in certain places.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
It was cute.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my show, surprise, is not cute. Well, it has some cute moments. Suika's pretty cute.
Oh, Suika.
Biggest surprise for me is Dr. Stone! Stone! I'm not gonna let it die.
Never.
It continues in season 2 this year. Fuck, man. As I said earlier, as I went along, it continued to surprise me. Each invention that he made surprised me. The friendships that he made were really cool and genuine. Yeah, this show is fucking fun. The dub is a delight. The sub, also fucking awesome. Senku's likable. And like that Rintaro Okabe Steins Gate, I'm a mad scientist, I'm really feeling myself sort of way.
Mm-hmm.
What a fucking delight, man. I was like, man, I don't know about this show. And then when they introduced Tsukasa, I was like, yep, I'm in. No, like, their Tsukasa literally kills a lion with rocks. And I'm like, yep, we're good.
He does.
I'd like that power.
I mean,
To kill lions with rocks?
Yes.
Why?
If I recall correctly,
I don't know. It would just be a really cool skill to put on a resume.
If I recall correctly, he breaks out of his petrification and just, like, shoots shrapnel, and it's just like, what the fuck? Are you a JoJo villain? Are you a Pillar Man?
So it's funny that you mentioned that, because whenever I saw him, like, his character design and just how buff he is, I always said to Get, I was like, he looks like he belongs in Berserk. Like, he's just a character from Berserk.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can see
also
it.
see that.
So very similarly, yeah, he punches a lion. He's great.
All right. Lily, what is your surprise of Anime 2019? Were you surprised by anime, or were you surprised by that movie?
Wait, I can pick a movie?
No.
Oh.
I mean, you
She
could...
tried. She tried.
No.
I more say that as a commentary on you.
Veto.
I mean, it was a surprise. It did just kind of drop out of nowhere.
Oh my fucking god, you've talked enough about it. Talk about something else. Oh my god, I'm so tilted.
Okay.
Oh my god. Fucking really? Oh my god. She's dead. She's dead, Jim.
Okay.
Rest in peace.
So yeah, my biggest surprise of the year that wasn't the release of the Thunderbolt Fantasy second movie is Gundam Build Divers Re-Rise. And I mentioned this on the previous episode about how it differentiates itself from the previous build series. And yeah, that's basically why.
Right on.
I don't have a whole lot. I could have talked a lot more if you had let me talk about Thunderbolt Fantasy 2. But since I'm going to be shut down, I guess I'll just leave it at that.
You've said enough.
I just can't talk. Can't express enthusiasm for the things I love. I understand.
Nope. John, are you going to express the love for your surprise of this year?
Well, I kind of already did, because it's Kimetsu no Yaiba, Demon Slayer. I know it's, I knew it was a Ufotable, before going into it, but I kind of heard that, like, anything that wasn't the Fate franchise by them didn't seem to do too well, so I was really cautious going into it, and yeah, that I would end up really surprised at how good it looked. And then I was like, but it's a shonen, and like, while there has been shonen that I've really enjoyed, there's also been shonen that I've really fallen off of because episode length and or like how long they drag things on. No, they get straight to the fucking point with it in this series. There's a training arc. It lasts one episode instead of being an entire season by itself. That ended up being a really refreshing surprise, and so really getting to the meat of him actually hunting down demons and doing as it says on the tin.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it ended up being a really good surprise for me, and I really enjoyed it. So there.
Right on. Cass, let us hear your top 3 anime of 2019.
All right.
Boy.
Also known as Cassie is Predictable 2019.
I predict Ma being in here.
Well, funny you say that. My number 3 is Mob Psycho 102.
Woohoo!
Just like me!
Craig, you should try and guess every single one that she has. Like, her top 3.
I mean, sure, Craig can make a guess and I'll tell him if he's right. This time he was. Mob Psycho 100 is an amazing show. I've already sang its praises previously several times. I think in a worse year, it would have been my number 1, like, without a doubt. It's just that good. The animation is so very different. It's so very fun. It's so very colorful, and yet also so very creepy and devastating at times. It's just a moving picture. It's a moving painting of a story. It's just constantly changing, and so are the characters. It's just absolutely fucking amazing.
It goes pretty abstract at times too, as a result.
For sure. And honestly, I really liked the character focus in Season 2 specifically with Mob, because I would argue that Season 1, while it was very much about Mob, it was more so about the people he influenced or that were around him, whereas Season 2 takes a lot more time to really look into how he's feeling, how he's thinking, and how he digests information. And I think that was super valuable and made me just love him that much more, which I didn't know was possible. So, there you go. Mob Psycho 102. Damn good show.
Whoa!
Mm-hmm.
Craig, what's my number 2?
Kaguya-sama?
Oh, shit!
Yes!
Oh my god! Alright, well, Craig's saying the rest of my shit. I don't even need to. Yes, my number 2 is Kaguya-sama wa Kokuratsutai Tensai Tachi no Renai Zuno-sen, also known as Kaguya-sama Love is War. It's my favorite anime comedy.
Until Prison School.
Oh my god.
Honey.
My friend, you are like the embodiment of chaotic
I'm just here
evil.
to just cause shit now.
You are literally Inosuke, bending over backwards, just cackling to yourself.
No, the thing is, like, I very rarely meet chaotic neutral people. Lily is a chaotic neutral. I never thought I would actually meet one, but that's what she is.
And
Are you sure
love
she's not
me!
chaotic? Are you sure she's not
I
chaotic?
do.
Loyal? Was it loyal?
Loyal?
What are the
Chaotic.
three things?
Lawful, and
Lawful,
and evil, and good.
Okay. Wouldn't it be chaotic lawful?
No, she's not. She doesn't follow the fucking rules, please.
Yeah. I mean, I'm 100% neutral.
Yeah, she is, like, completely neutral, but she's also chaotic.
Yeah.
Chaotic neutral.
Chaotic neutral. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
So, yeah. it would actually be kind of fun to think about what everybody here is, but Lily, 150% is a chaotic neutral. Anyway.
I'm neutral.
Speaking of chaotic neutrals, this show is about a couple of them. Or would they be chaotic good? I'm not sure. They're chaotic regardless. And that's one of the things that I love about Kaguya-sama is that most of the time it is just this chaotic mess of feelings and jokes and emotions. And then it has times where it slows down and really lets you get to know the characters on an actual sentimental level before making a bunch of dick jokes. It's just really good. I like it a whole lot. One of my favorite memories of the year this year was going, "Hey, Kiemi, I want you to watch this clip with me."
Oh,
and
Lord.
telling her nothing about it. And it was just a bunch of stupid potty humor that they were saying over and over again. And Kiemi was losing her goddamn mind.
As
and it
I do.
Great. Also, Lily talked about this earlier, but one of the things that really drew me initially to Kaguya-sama is that the show emulates a lot of how me and her were acting towards the beginning of our relationship, where it was kind of like, we're flirting, but not really. No,
we were playing
no.
mind games,
Yeah,
basically.
It was just basically a game of chicken for like months.
Yeah.
It was great. So I really related a lot to their struggle. And I related a lot to how fucking silly it is in fucking hindsight. So I just really love it. It was also a show that Lily watched with me weekly, which does not happen very often. Sometimes we'll just find one anime and we'll watch it weekly, and she takes her eyes away from her video games, and it's just me and her and the big old TB now, and it's great.
It's
and it
rare.
Makes me happy.
It's rare.
It is so very rare, which is why Kaguya is so important to me. It's emotionally just something that I have this tie to, and on top of just being a really good show that's really funny, really full of heart. And it's funny because I was talking to Kiemi before the recording, saying, I'm trying not to put stuff on my list that's going to get a continuation because there are other shows that I could put on here. That's why Beastars got cut. Mm-hmm. And then I realized that my top 2 are literally ongoing shows, and I was like, well,
no, it's okay. It is a-okay.
Craig, what's my number 1?
Sarazenmai?
No. That shows you weren't paying
I know what it is.
attention.
I know what it is. I know what it is.
What is it?
Is it Fruits Basket 2019?
It is Fruits Basket
Woo!
2019. Sarazenmai was my number 5.
Yeah, to be fair, I kind of lost track.
It's
I was like,
fine. I understand. It's hard to pay attention to me. I'm basically non-existent.
Don't say that.
Wow.
Thanks, Craig.
Damn.
Holy shit.
You know what is completely existing? This amazing show called Fruits Basket 2019 Part 1, which Lily bought for me for Christmas, and it made me really happy.
Well, me and Craig bought it for you. It was
Yeah.
it was a joint present.
Oh, yeah,
No,
it was a joint.
she's now no longer acknowledging my.
Yeah, I guess Craig doesn't exist anymore. That's fine. I'll take all the
Sorry,
credit.
I forgot. I thought that Craig took me to the movies and got me a shirt. My brain completely forgot about
He
Fruits
did.
Basket.
He did. That was, but
I honestly, Craig, me and you have the most powerful memory of 2019, and that was going to see Cats.
That movie fucking bombed.
That movie was great. I don't know what you're talking about. We had
That
such a good
movie
time.
Fucking was very
Actually,
okay.
fuck this. Fuck Fruits Basket. My number 1 anime of 2019 is Cats.
No.
It's Cats.
No, I'm
Rum-tum
taking
tu-
over and making executive decision that that's
Rum
not
Tum
okay.
Tugger is a curious cat, but
He
not
is.
nearly.
I will
as
leave.
horny
I
as
will
the
leave
stage
this
play.
recording.
Well, if you want to do that, then tell us your picks for the other shit before we bounce.
Rum Tum Tugger is a curious.
I will leave.
Yeah.
Do not test me. And I won't give you the rest of my stuff. I'll just fucking go.
Okay.
Anyway, so Fruits Basket's a really good show. I loved the original. I read the manga way back when I was in high school. I loved the original show. When I heard it was getting a reboot, I was happy about it, but I wasn't overwhelmingly excited. I was just kind of trying to keep my expectations tempered, because I was at first a little on edge about if I'd really like the new art direction and so on and so forth. And then I realized what a fool I was because it was such a good fucking production. Everything about it is just so beautiful. The character designs I honestly have grown to like more than the originals somehow. I think that a lot of the stories are full of heart, and I really do like, in comparison to the original Fruits Basket, how very true to the manga it is staying. And I believe that the original anime, the author of Fruits Basket was not a huge fan of because it focused so much on making it more of a comedy than making it a drama and a more sentimental show. And I really think that this version really catches that sentimentality and that humanity and that empathy and makes you really think and feel, which some people don't like when they watch anime, but that's my favorite. I want to absolutely be destroyed at the end of every episode of something I watch.
I didn't sign up for this.
I did. I knew exactly what I was getting myself into. And I know exactly what you guys are getting into for season 2, and I can't wait.
No.
I think that's one of the other fun things about watching Fruits Basket is I thought that literally maybe me, John, and Cammy, maybe we would watch it. Zach being somebody who watched it and loving it was so out of left field, and then Craig turning around and making it his number 1. Like, I just was blown away. Because that just attests to how powerful this show is that so many people with very different tastes all really, really love the message and just what Fruits Basket stands for. And I think it's one of the most powerful anime to come out this year. And Ichigo agrees.
Ichigo says that Shigure is the best character.
Of course she fucking would. She wouldn't necessarily be wrong. He's pretty great. But yeah, Fruits Basket is an amazing show. We will be reviewing it at some point on the podcast. I don't know when, but probably when the second season, finishes, which it was announced like yesterday or the day before that it's coming out in spring of 2020. So we got this, folks. Also, Lily said she's going to buy me the second part of season 1 soon, and I'm so excited. It's coming out on Valentine's Day.
It comes out on Valentine's Day, so.
Such an easy Valentine's Day gift.
It's pretty easy, yeah.
You got off easy this year. I have no idea what to get you.
Oh, well, yeah. Have fun with that, because I don't know what you should get me either.
Oh, fucking duck. Anyway, that's my number 1.
Ooh, Cass, you're not done talking.
Oh shit, you right. But you can at least announce what the fucking award is, Craig. Don't immediately make me talk afterwards.
So, our next award here is Easy on the Eyes Award, aka the Best Artwork of 2019. Cass, you're up once more to the bat. Can you hit a home run tonight?
God, I have no idea. So I wanted to talk about Beastars because we can't talk about animation and animation being different and really trying something new without mentioning it. Originally, I was going to talk about Mob Psycho, and I do think that Mob Psycho did have some of the best animation of this year. Especially in regards to like fight choreography, transitions between scenes, and just being so very out there in the 2D animation circuit. But it's so very rare that we get a 3D anime that I just felt we needed to talk about this. I think the last one that we got that was actually really good was from the same company, and that was Land of the Lustrous. Which, to be fair, like, I feel like I've been a bit too harsh on Land of the Lustrous in the last couple of years, mostly just to meme Craig and Zach, mostly.
Damn.
You call me chaotic neutral.
I'm a chaotic good.
Oh, are you?
I could see that.
Or at least I think so. Anyway.
I mean, I guess that works.
Anyway, but yeah, I mean, they give me shit too. You guys won't stop referring to one of my favorite shows of the season as that Toilet Kid anime. Like,
I mean,
that's what it is.
It's so much more than that.
It's Toilet Boy anime.
Oh my god. Anyway, the point I was getting at is one of the things that, regardless of my feelings on the story and the characters of Hoseki no Kuni, I loved how it looked. It was gorgeous. The opening was gorgeous. The running scene with Daya was gorgeous. The fight choreography was gorgeous. There's a scene where 2, like, gyms hit their heads together and crack. It was gorgeous. There was so much stuff coming out of that company at that point in time, and I seed it, and I viewed it, and I still, when I watched the PV for Beastars, was like, I don't know. And how very wrong I was. because this, like, I don't think Beastars would have looked as good in 2D.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm being honest. Like, I think a lot of the textures that come along with 3D, or just that are available when making 3D models, really made, like, the fur and, like, the expressions on these animals' faces, like, pop.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I'm somebody who typically is pretty close-minded when it comes to CGI. I can be pretty open about the fact that I'm close-minded in that regard. And if there's one company that's starting to make me not be such an asshole, it's Studio Orange. Because
Time for Majestic Prince.
Time to show that agenda.
I mean, I'm just waiting. I mean, I'm actually legitimately excited to watch Majestic Prince one of these days. I know that a lot of people really like it.
You want to know something? It has the same script writer as K-On!
This is fine.
To be fair, it is very easy to really mess up CG fur, but they nailed it.
It is, but they don't in this. And that's the thing, like, in addition to the CGI, I mentioned this earlier when I talked about the honorable mentions, I believe. This show doesn't just experiment with CGI, it experiments with different kinds of 2D, mixing 2D and 3D, watercolors. I don't know exactly what to call Luisa's backstory kind of cart work.
It almost looked like looked like paper cutouts or something. Like,
yeah, like from like a children's book, or like something like that. Like, it goes all out. And there is a scene in this show, and it's a very quiet scene where Legoshi finds one of his friends at his train station, and they just have this very soft conversation, and he starts to cry, and I started to cry. Like, I had to turn it off, and then I messaged Cammie, and I was like, man, episode 6 though. And at that point, I was like, I was already in, but after that, I was hooked. It's just such an emotionally charged show, but it's represented by this beautiful art and all of these different ways of really expressing itself. Even the opening, which Cammie touched on earlier, is just a feat in animation. I don't know how somebody could be that creative.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Beastars is a celebration of creativity.
Well said.
That's high praise.
It really is. And while there's a lot of other shows this year that I could have talked about in regards to really good animation, we had a really good year. I think Beastars is the one that's most unique and probably will stick with me the longest, and is the one I'm really looking forward to see again, just in terms of the animation style.
The manga, I've been reading it, and it has its own, like, personality traits to it, but, like, sometimes I just can't believe what Orange got out of just, like, looking at manga panels. Like, I posted 2 comparison ones there. Like, they just transformed it, and there were some shots in the manga of, like, panels from the show, and the show just made it so much more, like, dynamic and come alive. And I'm like, the fact that they could generate that out of their material is incredible. Like, it's so good.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah,
Right on.
I'll probably read that manga at some point because I don't know if I can wait. That cliffhanger is just a bit much for me.
Yep.
But yeah, just in terms of animation, it's a feat. You guys are doing yourself a disservice, both in regards to the story and the art. But just if you want to see some good CGI, just watch a couple episodes, like just to experience it.
Right on. Cammie.
Sarazanmai is very pretty. Oh my god. The color palette of the show, I think, is the first thing that strikes me. It's incredibly vibrant and, like, saturated and just really, like, a gorgeous smorgasbord to look at. I like the character designs. I think they all feel very unique and really show the personalities of each of the characters, or even just, like, their surface level personalities. It has kind of, like, it doesn't have, like, the thickest lined artwork, which I kind of like. There's a lot of, like, shine and gloss. There's a lot of, like, highlights and shadows in people's hair. It's a really pretty show, and it also still, to me, stylized-wise, fits into the Ikuhara canon of shows. Even though Mappa hasn't tackled an Ikuhara show before, it still, like, adheres a lot to some of the design practices in Penguin Drum and in Yuri Kuma. So, like, you can look at all 3 of those shows and be like, oh yeah, they're all Ikuhara shows. It has the same sort of softness and circular work and the colors, and it's really good. And I also like the really metaphorical imagery of, like, giant box monsters and stuff like that. Like, it's very good. And I love the AOL, like, chat crowds a lot. I'm glad that they reappeared. It was very good. So, yeah, Sarazanmai is beautiful. It's gorgeous.
It is. Even the grody parts are pretty.
Right? Right? That was a lot of frames dedicated to Vor.
Yeah! Anal Vor at that.
I tried showing my brother a clip of the show and just the initial transformation, and he said, I don't want to ever watch this show. And I'm like, it gets better, but yeah, episode 1 is the most intense transformation of anything I've ever seen. Poor Enta.
That was a thing.
All right. For me, we have O Maidens in Your Savage Season. I wish it was Savage Garden, but unfortunately, I won't. The title won't let me have this in joke.
You're a fucking nerd.
Chicka-chericola.
Highlight of JoJo's Part 4. This show, stylistically, I like a lot. I like the character designs, and quite frankly, I like the color palette it uses. It's like soft colors. It kind of, I don't really know how to describe it. It's pastel-y. It's not like watercolors, but like I like that the hair and whatnot aren't all one specific color. It looks like it has different shadings and how to necessarily describe it. Cass, you're better with art. How do you describe O Maiden's art?
Soft, light pastels.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Pretty.
it do the white? Does it do the white outline thing? Kind of like
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, that's
Kind of like
good stuff.
Horomusko, which I hear that like similar staff are on both those shows, so it makes sense.
Yeah. I think Zach said that the director of O Maidens did Wandering Sun. So, there's also that. Yeah, if you go check that show out because it's got a unique sense of style.
Good choice.
Lily,
Yeah.
what do you got?
Honestly, it was going to be Mob Psycho before I realized Cassie had it on hers originally, and then she changed it to Beastars, but I'd already put down this show, so I'll just talk about this show. Mine is Demon Slayer. Yay!
Yay!
Yeah, Demon Slayers by Ufotable. They do a lot of really good work. I'm personally a fan of their work on the Kara no Kyokai movies. So I knew this show was going to look good, but there were a few things about Demon Slayer that impressed me in particular. Primarily how it uses CG for like far away characters and shots.
Yeah, sweeps and whatnot.
Yeah, and like some, movement. In order to basically like, so they don't have to animate like every single like thing, but they only use it when a character is like far away. So it's not like super jarring to see the CG character like super up close. It's just, they're out in the back and they can move fluidly without it being in your face or the movement being compromised, which I thought was cool. Otherwise, it's basically pretty standard Ufotable prettiness. A lot of digital effects and stuff. I particularly like the use of Tanjiro's like water stuff. Although sometimes they do use CG for that, and it can look a little bit jarring. But when it works well, it works extremely well. So, and a lot of just really phenomenal like Sakuga moments that stand out in my mind, like Zenitsu's like thunderclap attack, and that one thing that Tanjiro did with the spider dude.
Oh yes.
So, yeah, good looking show. It's pretty.
A lot of polish. They avoided taxes for it.
Yeah, they did. Which, I mean, I guess it works out. They're making a movie.
All right. John.
For me, on the Easy on the Eyes Awards, I put down Lord Elmalay, the second Case Files, Rail Zeppelin Grace Note.
Yeah.
The full title of it. Because I was just, to start off, I was amazed by how well they were able to replicate the art style from like picking up from Fate Zero that was done by Ufotable, because this was a different studio behind it, and I'm completely blanking on who.
It is Troika, who did Bloom Into You.
And yeah, it's just they had a lot. They had a pretty high poll to try and measure up to, and while they didn't quite reach the same level of polish, they still. It's not like, oh, this looks so much bad. This looks noticeably worse than the original series. And it's like, no, it actually looks pretty comparable and stands up. And that took me by surprise as well. How good it looks. Some of the effects and all the magic effects stuff going on, I really enjoyed it. So I think it looked really pretty.
Right on.
So that's why I put it there.
Right on. Righty then. You're not done talking.
I'm not.
Because next up, we have your 3 through 1 of anime 2019.
Okay, so at number 3, I have Mob Psycho 100 Season 2.
Woo!
Awesome.
Good.
Woo! We have so much in common.
Especially considering I hadn't actually seen Season 1 until right before we was watching Season 2. A marathon Season 1 to get to Season 2. But yeah, really enjoyed it. Loved seeing actual development on Mob's part in Season 2 as well. A lot of the things from the first season opening suddenly made sense, because they were hinting at it from that early on. Broccoli. Yep.
Right.
And yeah, artwork was amazing to watch. The really big bombastic fight scenes were spectacle, and there's just so much good going on in Mob Psycho, and Mob continues to be best boy.
Are you sure it's not Reagan that is best boy?
Yeah, I feel like you might be a little bit off with that assessment.
I like Reagan, but to me, Mob's best boy.
Thank you, John. I have you on my side.
I just don't understand. It's fine.
This is fine.
We're underappreciated.
Yeah, we're just,
On Team Reagan.
Bullshit. Everybody's horny for Reagan. Even the animators are horny for Reagan.
They really are.
If anything,
Probably because he's the best.
if anything, we're in the minority. So how about you fucking chill? How about you fucking chill?
Just misunderstood in our time. It's okay, Craig. I got you.
Oh my god.
It's okay.
Alright. At number 2 is Promised Neverland.
Good.
Ooh.
Good hot take right there.
That's high praise.
Especially considering it's a series I didn't think I was gonna like, but I actually really enjoyed it. Like the trying to, like, as things was coming together and like certain things towards the end, I don't want to go into huge spoilers about, just trying to figure out how everything was going to work out, what was going to happen, what they're going to do now. It was a lot of suspense and a lot of like plans coming together and stuff that just I really enjoyed. So
the tension, going back to the tension, they nailed it, and I can't wait to see what goes into season 2.
Yeah, the tension could be cut with a knife at times. And at number 1 is Dororo.
Fuck yes! Fuck yes, John. Awesome.
The hottest of takes.
Fuck yes.
Give me fire!
Not enough people are talking about Dororo, to be honest.
Yeah. No, it's really good. I feel like it got a bit overshadowed once Kimetsu no Yaiba came out, just because of kind of the similar sword fighting and whatever aesthetic. But who knows? So I'm really glad it's your number 1, so you can talk about it.
Yeah, there was some really heartbreaking scenes in it. Hyakimaru, his struggles, his developments, the getting hit with like sideways with as he like regained parts and therefore sensations to that go along with them, and now he had to readjust to this wave of new sensations that he wasn't used to. Freaking tying a scarf around his head so he didn't have to protect his ears. Just there was so much about this series, and it was also really gorgeous to watch and look at, even if it did have kind of gory moments as well. There was still so much about this series that it really is underappreciated and overlooked, unfortunately, I feel. There's so much about this series, it's so good. I can't, words fail me. Just go watch it, please.
I have one question for you, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Will you read the original Osamu Tezuka manga of it now?
It's short. It's only like 4 volumes.
Yeah.
Is it? Ooh.
Yeah. Fun fact. I think the ending of the manga is way more ambiguous than the ending of the anime.
I feel like I should now, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, just to see the differences. But yeah, I'm really glad that it's your number one. I think it's cool that we got a new adaptation of like such a classic by such a revered author. And,
Yeah.
you know, the last adaptation of it came out in like the 60s. So
The
that's
original,
a cool trend.
it was in black and white.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And with that, we have just 2 more awards, mini awards here to go. The Shining Star Award, an edition only exclusive for this year, because it is now the year 2020. So we're going to look back on what is the cream of the crop, the best anime of the last decade, 2010 to 2019. Cass, what is, bar none, your favorite anime of those 10 years?
So, last year and the year before, if you're an ongoing listener, you'll remember that I said, and I quote, "I will find a way to talk about March Comes In Like a Lion every year until the day I die." And this year I found one. I don't know about next year. I might have to get a little bit more creative next year, but luckily this year is the end of a decade, or last year was the end of a decade. This year's the beginning of a new one. And that means I once again get to talk about March Comes In Like a Lion.
Yay!
Is good. It's a really good show. It's brought a lot of my friends closer to me. I am having a really fun time rewatching it with another friend recently. It's just one of those shows that I think is very similar to Fruits, like what I said about Fruits Basket earlier, where so many different people can watch it and get swept up in its, I don't know, the feelings of empathy and depression and overcoming adversity that everybody just wants to feel and think about. And I think that March Comes In Like a Lion actually does it a little bit better than Fruits Basket, actually. I think that March Comes In Like a Lion is like a study in the human condition and what we can bring to the table for each other and for ourselves. And it's a very rare gem, and I really love it a whole lot. Chika Umino is a genius, and one of these days I'll read Honey and Clover. But until that day arrives, I have March Comes In Like a Lion, and I love it to death. It's one of my favorite animes, period. It's one of the best anime of the decade, and it is my anime of the decade.
Honey and Clover, all on Crunchyroll, dub and sub.
Yeah.
One day.
I finally started watching it.
Oh my
March
god!
Comes
What?
In Like
Oh,
a
what?
Lion.
What? Damn.
He started watching March Comes In Like a Lion.
I mean, I'm good with that too. Shit.
Watch it!
Shit. Cammy,
Okay.
what do we got?
I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. I don't believe I have one anime of the decade. I don't think I can do it.
You can't choose your children.
I can't. It's a really long.
It's hard.
It's a really
And
long.
yet you did.
I put one down on the list. Is what
But
I'm
you
gonna
will
say.
immediately regret it when you say it out loud.
I put one down on the list that is among the upper echelon, but I don't think I have a number one, especially if I can't have March as a potential for number one. Like, I'm not going to say that this show is my number one above March, because I don't think that's true. However, this is a really, really fucking good show that I love, and a lot of us love on the pod, and it is Maoru Penguin Drum. It's a fucking
Yes.
great, incredible, unique show. It's what got me onto the Ikuhara train, and for that I am forever grateful. And I really don't know what can be spouted about it. If you go to my YouTube channel, I edit with it all the fucking time. I got to edit with it for a college project. I've rewatched it about 5 times. Lent the Blu-rays out to people. The first present Cassie ever got me was Penguin Drum, the first half on Blu-ray. Cassie and I became friends because of Maoru Penguin Drum. Like, this show is very influential in my own anime journey, and I think it's just a really, really great, unique piece of work, and y'all should check it out. It's good shit. It's Destiny. Destiny!
Yay!
Oh, also big shout outs. Craig got me plushies of the 3 penguins for my birthday one year. I still have them.
What up?
Bless up.
Yeah. For more info, just tune into our episode where Zach gushes about Penguin Drum in a very eloquent
For
manner.
3.5 hours.
And I sit there awkwardly.
For 3.5 hours.
Listen, he's good at what he does.
He is.
Oh, God. My number 1 with a bullet. To no one's surprise, Devilman Crybaby.
Of
2018.
course.
Whoa, wait.
No, we're not going to do Thunderbolt Fantasy. That's animated
No,
piece of media.
no. More than Heartcatch Precure?
That is second.
Ooh.
Damn.
I thought the same thing. I said the same thing when we went through his decade list.
Ooh.
He committed. It was his number 1 on both.
Again, this is the show that floored me. I'm not gonna try and compare my children between Heartcatch and Akira, but I think Devilman and the way Masaki Yuasa made it, like reimagined it for Netflix, was fucking rad. And just getting exposed to the thing that went on to influence Evangelion is really like something awesome to actually see. And I'll actually watch Evangelion this year, kids. It'll be fucking great. I'll actually commit. It shows just loving, being. The show shows the best and worst parts of mankind, and just believing in the best parts of mankind. Big trigger warning for those who would want to get into it. It is violent. It is sexual. Almost too cartoonish effects. But if you can stomach it, it is phenomenal, I dare say. It does have problems outside of the violence and the absurd amount of it. I think it is a little too fast for what it is. It needed a little time to breathe. Maybe like 3 episodes, if that. But for what we got, I watched it twice, and I did not shut the fuck up about it during the episode with Zach and Cass. And it is one of my favorite anime of the 2010s. So go watch it, kids. Go watch it.
Nice.
Lily! I already know what your show is.
Yeah,
Tell the
I,
class.
for one, am committing to the brand. My favorite show of the decade is Go Princess Precure.
Mm-hmm.
Princess Precure.
This was the show that, like, defined the way I went about, like, just conducting myself on the internet, and also,
5 years ago.
Yeah, just took over a ton of my life. I was watching it, as it aired, I was watching the Raws. I wasn't even, like, waiting for subs. I was just watching it raw. And
I need Haru in my life.
yeah, it was a really impactful, show for me. And I also spent a ton of fucking money on it. Yeah.
And you don't regret any of it.
Well, no. I mean, I had to sell some of it because when I moved up here, I had to have some money, but yeah. Yeah, this show has been with me since 2005 when it aired, and
No, 2015, dog.
Huh? 2015.
No, 2015.
Right, 2015. Sorry.
You're good.
I'm still living in 2010.
It's okay. We've been recording for like hours.
Yeah. And it left such a huge impression on me, just in terms of its themes and the way it tackled things for a children's show, that I was almost instantly in love with it. And yeah, it also just has a ton of really great sakuga and fight scenes, and the characters are just so lovable and well developed.
Yep.
It's just a good show. I love it so much. Cassie finally finished it recently.
She did.
And I could just feel those emotions welling back up in me as she watched the
Aw.
last episode, and I was like, yeah, that's a good show.
Yes.
That's a good show. Took her 10 years, but it was a good show.
At least I finished it, and my pinned tweet on Twitter is still my feelings on the last like episode of that show. It's extremely powerful.
Chase your dreams.
Yeah.
Well, not even just chase your dreams, more like being like that's one of the things that I really like about Go Princess is they're not always like everything's gonna be okay. They're like, no, sometimes things are gonna suck, but then they're gonna be okay.
Yep.
And I think that that's a message that a lot of children's shows try to avoid because they're children's shows. And there's nothing wrong with that formula.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing wrong with the tried and true, everything's going to be okay because we're a pretty poppy show and we want to make kids happy. But it's just nice to have a caveat of, well, yeah, everything's going to be okay, but sometimes you're going to be really sad, and sometimes you're not going to know what to do. And sometimes there's not going to be an answer, but you're going to be okay. And I got messed up.
It has, bar none, one of the best sequences in the entire Precure franchise, with dealing with Haru, like standing on the street. And I'm like, fuck, powerful, amazing.
It's very good.
Yeah, it's a good show.
Also, Cammy, Cure Mermaid.
I know. Oh, I have to get to it. I'll finish up a heart catch. I actually made some progress in that not too long ago. Then, Go Princess.
Nice.
Go Princess. Up next.
Princess, Pukua. Good shit.
Okay. John,
Um,
I'm curious. Is this Sword Art Online?
No.
No, it's not. I was very torn between.
Good boy.
I was very torn between Sword Art Online, Build Fighters rather,
Build fighters. Good.
and what I put. And I was really torn between the three, but one of these, the one I picked, is objectively better than the other two, which is why I put Fate Zero.
Good
I
boy.
say Build Fighters is better, but that's me.
You just have bias against the Booch.
That and it's just more fun, but that's just me. Anyway,
You know what? I'll give you that.
You literally just did that thing where somebody got an award at the award show and you're like, I'm going to let you talk.
I mean,
You literally
hey,
just that
he,
guy.
you just
he's
pulled
the
a
one
Kanye-
he's the one who brought Build Fighters into this. All right, I'm just saying.
You're the one that you just pulled a Kanye West. I'm gonna let you finish, but they deserve their reward.
Anyway,
They did, I mean,
John.
Yeah, Fate Zero, when I discovered it was getting an anime, I was already a fan of Fate Stay Night, but I feel like UFO Table's work on Fate Zero is what really, like, kicked off this resurgence of all of the Fate stuff that we've gotten since.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Fate Zero, that wouldn't have happened. We wouldn't have gotten Apocrypha, we wouldn't have gotten Extra, we definitely wouldn't have gotten Unlimited Blade Works or the Heaven's Feel movies.
No.
And yeah, so as much as I really enjoyed all of the other Fate franchises that have come since, including Lord and Malloy, none of that would have happened if not for Fate Zero and how big a success that was. So, and just Waver, finding out exactly what had happened before the start of Fate Stay Night, which there was a lot of things hinting towards it and in Fate Stay Night, but no confirmations about what had actually happened and what went down. It just so many questions were suddenly answered for me, and I need to rewatch it. Again, that I'm thinking about is I need to rewatch Fate Zero. And yeah, I could gush on about Zero and the Fate franchise. I really am a huge Fate fanboy, and I'm still salty that I can't play Grand Order.
Yeah, you deserve to play Grand Order and waste your money like I do.
All right. Rounding out this evening, we have one more award. We're going to continue this tradition that I pitched last year, and I completely forgot until Cass literally reminded me of this before we sat down. Let's get personal. The personal highlights of 2019. List one or two good things that happened to you personally this year. Cass!
Yeah.
Start us off.
I got the engaged, y'all.
The engaged?
Yay!
The engaged.
Congratulations!
Yeah.
Why does that sound like a verb?
Back in April, I asked this beautiful woman if she would marry me, and she said yes, which was great.
In front of the penguins.
And honestly, okay, I had to give the story really quick, but I originally was going to propose to her under a bunch of beautiful cherry blossom trees. I knew exactly what I was going to say. I knew exactly what I was going to do. And then we got there, and all the trees were dead. And
I had no idea, by the way. I was like, oh, she's gonna give me a nice present under the trees, and they were dead, and I was just like, can you just give it to me anyways? Like...
And I was like, no, I cannot. And she was so confused.
I think you texted me during this, and I was like, damn, that sucks.
It does. And so then I was like, I don't know what to do. I was panic texting Crystal, and I was like near tears because this beautiful plan I'd been making for like months just fell through, and I didn't think it was possible for that to happen. And then my sister was like, oh, well, why don't you go to the zoo? It's, it's romantic, and you could, propose by the carousel or whatever you want to do. And I was like, okay. And I was like, Lily, let's go to the zoo. And she was like, okay.
Okay.
So we went to the zoo, and originally I was going to propose. There were these like seals underwater in this like really nice,
Oh yeah.
like place where you can go, and it's like you could see under the water. But I was reaching for the ring in my pocket, and then these kids kept running around. And finally, when they left, I was reaching in my bag to get the ring, and Lily was like, all right, let's go. And I was like, fucking
Mother bitch!
And then we went to see penguins, and I was like, no one else is here. Okay, gotta do it now. No, it's now or never. And so that is how I proposed to my girlfriend in a place that reeked of fish.
Yes! And then you all saw Penguin Highway.
Yeah!
Yeah, we did.
And everything's pink with it. We also went and saw some elephants, and I honestly probably should have waited till we went to see the elephants, because that was my favorite part. Those
Aww.
elephants were so cute. But anyway, we did the proposal at a zoo, and if I could go back and make it a little more romantic, I would. But in the hindsight, this will be a funny story for the generations to come.
Yeah, it's still better than your stepdad's proposal, so.
Oh my god. Yeah, I was talking to my mom, and I was like, Mom, I don't want to mess this up. And my mom has been so supportive of, like, everything. And she was like, honey, no matter what you do, you can't be worse than Mike. And I was like, what did Mike do? I guess the way that my stepdad proposed to my mother was he put the ring in her pocket and then texted her, sent her an email, and was like, hey, look in your pocket.
Oh, no.
Couldn't even do it face to face.
He was too nervous, and honestly, it's really cute.
That's
like
actually
when they,
really sweet.
It is like when they were at their wedding, when they were like saying their vows. If you watch the wedding video and you pay attention, you'll notice that my mom is swaying back and forth, and that's because throughout the whole ceremony, he was so fidgety and nervous that he was swaying them back and forth in place.
Aww.
He was so nervous. But yeah, it was fun, and I'm really happy because I get to spend the rest of my life with this beautiful, lovely lady. And probably Craig, because I don't know where he's going.
Mm-hmm.
Craig is just a random addition to our
I'm
marriage.
really the plus one, apparently.
The marriage plus one.
I need to fucking get out of Dodge.
You can't.
Jesus
You
Christ.
can't escape. It's too expensive.
Look, Craig,
true.
you have to. No, Craig, you have to. You can get out, but you have to stay relatively close by. Because if you're gone, no one is going to go to Chipotle with me. And I can't have that. Like, I need someone to go eat burritos with. You can't go too far.
I mean, and we got a dog. So there's that.
Yeah, we got that fucking monster. That's true.
Family. The
But yeah.
family is stronger than ever.
Kevin's like, dog! And Lily's like, I fucking regret my life.
Cammy's turn.
Okay. I mean, I'm just going to say real quick, it's a good thing that Cassie and I aren't getting married because with how giving Cassie is for, like, other people and what they care about, we'd end up with, like, 6 dogs.
Yeah, please don't do that.
Fucking
true.
Lord. No.
I would
I'd
die.
come home and Cammy'd be like, honey, baby, sweetie, I would like another 3 puppies. And I'd be like, oh, well, you know, you got it, sweetie. Hold
You'd be
on,
like,
let's go."
we'll make it happen because Cassie is one of the most supportive, loving people
I have
in
to
the
be
entire
careful
world.
what I wish for now. Because Cassie will fucking get it for me if I actually say it enough.
Exactly.
You're marrying a monkey's paw. Just keep that in mind. At all
Yeah,
times.
basically.
Immediate regret.
Exactly. So I think that I think I did. I think dropping enough hints and then definitely when the point that one of my best friends got engaged and then another one of my best friends got engaged finally decided, okay, I think from the way she's talking, she might want to get married. So I also got engaged this year. Yay! So it was a while coming, and he proposed in an environment that is full of like everything that we love and share, which we've kind of instilled in both each other a love of travel, exploring new places, and trying new food. And he proposed after we had a really nice dinner on our first night in London, and it was very us. And we got free champagne afterwards from the store people, which was super nice. So that made me pretty dang happy. That was a good thing that happened.
And I got to be the first person to congratulate you in
That's
person.
true! That's true! That was so sweet of you. Yeah.
I was so jealous. I was like, fuck! I can't catch a flight that quickly.
Jesus.
Yes, so that was good, and it made me, like, honestly, what made me, like, the most happy is just finding out that he called my parents to, like, ask them. That's very sweet,
Precious.
and he knows how important my family is to me, so that was very nice. And apparently my mom screamed on the phone when he called, so there's that. She was like, did he tell you that I screamed? And I was like, no, he hadn't. Yeah, what?
That's just so sweet.
Yeah.
That's adorable. Like asking your parents' permission. Like that never happens anymore. I love that.
Yeah, it made me happy. I was like, "Oh, you asked?" He's like, "Yeah, of course." And I was like, "That's sweet."
That's like that's like some sociology thing, right? Or is it like that's not a rule to ask the parents?
No,
of the
it's
Not
not
anymore,
a rule.
anyway.
It's just a courtesy
yeah.
that's gone a little bit out of style because you know your parents back in the day, your parents basically owned you,
Yeah.
especially if you were a woman.
Also,
That-
people tended to, get engaged when they were like 16 or 14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah, so traditions have definitely changed, but that level of courtesy is still just very romantic and sweet.
Mm.
It's a little outdated, but it's adorable.
I know that in weddings still they have like the father like walk the bride down the aisle and then
Giving her
they
away.
say like yeah essentially. So I'm like yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. Our wedding will be interesting too. My dad made a point to me. So he is I always forget the term, but he basically can lead the wedding ceremonies. In a religious term, you'd call it a reverend, but he basically is officiant. That's what it's called, an officiant, when you can lead weddings. So he's going to be doing that for my wedding. So actually, my brothers are going to walk me down the aisle, technically, and like give me away. So That'll
That's
be cute.
still amazing. I remember when my mom got married, she had me and my sister walk her down the
Oh,
aisle.
oh, that's so
It's
sweet.
kind of fun when you have like little other touches.
Yeah.
And let's be real, your brother's giving you away or is a little more intense. We trust you with our little baby sister.
Yeah, exactly. Also, I've been getting straight A's in grad school, so good shit. And Cassie, same with you, which you did not mention, but we're kicking ass.
I forgot. Mostly because I'm procrastinating on my homework.
But you're still kicking ass and getting those grades.
That math
girl.
homework.
Yeah.
I have to calculate the slope of a line, and I just don't want to.
Slope intercept line. Slope
intercept form bullshit. Anyway, yes, awesome, Cammy.
Yay! Cassie.
How much schooling do you have left, Cammy? Because this is like your second year in grad school, right?
Yeah. So I only have a year left. I think I'm halfway through. So
God,
yeah,
that is fucking awesome, dude. Good on you.
thank you.
Oh, you're more than halfway there.
Wow!
Living on a prayer.
What about you, Craig?
So for me, admittedly, I completely forgot. Like I said, I forgot about this award's existence until I looked at the thing. Literally today, even. And I was like, "Oh right, that's a category."
Time for my suggestion. It's time.
I'm already watching.
Time to flex those pods, my friend.
Damn.
Throw me under the bus already. I honestly was like, I'm already watching Kuga. What do you want from me?
I mean, that is also probably the next best thing that's happened to you this year. I'm starting
2020 right. No, the thing that happened to me of significance in 2019 is I got a new job. The place where me and Cass and Lily all work. I'm in a different department. I actually like my job, ironically enough.
Yeah, Craig's
awesome.
living the high life, and me and Cassie are fucking in the trenches.
Yeah, I not to brag about this, but I think I left at a time where shit hit the fan. And I make $1 more, kids. It's cool. And I have a work laptop which I can take home.
And they pay for his commute.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very nice.
It's cool. The thing that Lily refers to is the fact that I've now entered the bougie ecosystem that is AirPods. I am no longer tethered by the system, but I am terrified of losing them because they cost me about $150. Kids, it's not really worth it, but also it's really freeing, but also terrifying. But
He also has an Apple Watch.
Yeah,
I do. I got that this.
Yeah, that was.
I got
this
that.
year.
Yeah, in 2020. It's actually pretty neato. That thing tracks like every facet of your calorie count and your heart rate and everything,
and sends all that data back to Apple.
I mean,
they're building another,
and probably the CIA.
They're building a different Craig. They're gonna substitute him in. We're all being slowly replaced by robots.
Oh, well, as long as Robo Craig will go get burritos with me, this is fine.
Hi, roommate.
How does Robo Craig consume burrito?
Robo Craig is made by Apple. He'll find a way.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
iCraig.
Yeah,
today,
so...
Yeah, the iCraig.
The iCraig.
The Apple iCraig.
The Apple Craig. So now over $2,000, kids.
Please, more like $20,000.
Yeah, I was about to say, don't sell yourself so short.
Listen, how will they move product if it's not at an affordable cost?
I mean, if they just advertise the burrito eating function, I mean, that sells itself. Who doesn't want a burrito eating robot buddy?
Also, maybe the users can buy it in installments.
I mean,
that's
probably
the thing nowadays. But outside of frivolous bougie products and getting a job, I can't really think of much that really happened in 2019.
It's okay.
Time flies and it's a flat circle. New year, new decade, new me, I guess.
Go for it.
Yeah.
I guess I'm next.
Yes, you are.
Do I get to say the engagement thing too? Is that off the
no,
table?
That's double dipping. No.
All right.
It's a shared thing.
I can't double dip.
Yes, you can. I run this pod, not Craig.
Wow. Putting the foot down, huh?
Craig, she's She's overriding your authority.
Beep, beep, boop, boop. I've been exposed.
But, yeah, I got engaged in front of some penguins, and it was very cute.
And it smelled like fish.
And it
And
smelled
she
like
cried.
fish.
She cried.
You didn't need to tell people that, but okay.
Did you? How? Okay, Cass, describe the crying. Was it ugly
no,
crying?
don't just fucking describe it.
Was it like? Was
I
it a
will
single
not say.
tear?
I will just say that she got emotional and it made me happy.
I've never seen her emotional at all outside of fucking hype.
If we ever watch G Gundam episode 45, I cry every time.
All right,
without fail.
All right, we gotta watch the show together then.
Yeah, because I cry every time.
All I'm taking away from this entire moment of positivity where we're all talking about things that happen to us that are good is that Craig just really wants to see Lily cry.
Yes.
It doesn't happen very much. You guys are all like, "Oh, Fruits Basket gonna make you cry." No, it probably won't cry.
I mean,
but,
I'm not. It doesn't have to.
But anyways,
That's
back to getting engaged. So yeah, I got engaged to the love of my life.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, so that was basically the one actually legitimately important thing that happened to me. Otherwise, I've been avoiding anime and playing video games, and I got a $1 raise.
Cha-cha-cha-ching! God, time does fly, huh?
Yeah.
Sure does.
Oh, and okay, I guess the second most important thing that happened, Thunderbolt Fantasy 2 movie 2 dropped! Woo!
I should have known.
Woo!
John, take the wheel.
No. I'm going
We've
to.
been going on forever.
No, hold on. You're not going to talk about your fucking joint dog?
What?
I mentioned the dog.
Yeah, she mentioned the dog.
Okay, you don't want to mention dog?
I mean, yeah, the dog is... We got a dog. She's not as good as Thunderbolt Fantasy 2, but maybe someday. Maybe someday she'll get there. She'll be on that level. Right now, still a puppy.
Alright.
7 years later.
John.
Alright. In my life, I have had 2 additions to the family. I also got a puppy called Pluto.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I am also an uncle, again, for the 9th time.
Yay!
Between 2
God,
sisters.
dude.
Super uncle.
Yeah.
Are you the cool uncle that has like all the fucking gadgets and video games?
Yes.
And your nieces and nephews just all want to go into like your abode and be like, John, you got the Xbox. I'm gonna play Gears of War. That's what I did.
Xbox, but I got the Switch.
That's an example.
I got.
Okay.
The Switch,
There you go.
always
Everyone wants to
asking
steal your
borrow it.
Switch.
In fact, it's not currently in my room because my nephew's staying the night.
Oh, there you go. Hopefully those Joy-Cons aren't broken.
I've been
I
making
can totally
sure.
see you. I can totally see you as the cool uncle with all the cool stuff. Like, do they ever go in your room and just like look in awe at all of your figures and stuff?
Yep.
Yeah, I could see that. That's awesome.
There have been times in the past where they've not been too happy with me because I don't let them play with them. They're like, but they're
Right.
Transformers. I said, no, they're not Transformers and they're not toys. Do not play.
They're not action figures. They sit there and they collect dust.
They do.
Let them sit there in pristine quality.
I've been
So
looking
true.
at some of them and like, these really need dusting off.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
The only other thing I've done is gotten the e-scooter, which makes getting to and from work way easier.
Good.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that. Cass actually told me that just a few days ago. I'm like, huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, traveling to work went down from half an hour to 10 minutes. Because this thing gets to about 15 miles per hour.
Nice.
That's actually pretty nuts. Well, is that it? Is that all we
Yeah,
have?
I can't think of anything else really.
Yeah, that was good
Can I
stuff. though.
plug Thunderbolt Fantasy Movie 2 again?
One more time.
Watch Thunderbolt Fantasy. Particularly Season 2 and the second movie.
Whoa!
Craig, give us our plugs. I want to go home.
Thank you for tuning in to this latest episode of NA Chatbox, the end of the year 2019 extravaganza Bananya fish edition. If you haven't already, check us out on all of the social medias. We have email at anychatmail.com. Wait, no, God, I'm getting that mixed up with Save Our Progress. This is what I'm get for trying to go off the cuff. Email. If you have an inquiry in long form, hit us up at anychatmail@gmail.com. Again, that is anychatmail@gmail.com. If you want to hear us, we're on multiple podcast services around the globe. We're on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, and Spotify. If you haven't already, again, find us on Twitter, twitter.com/anychatbox. The individual hosts are below. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/anychatbox. Shoutouts to Sarah, CorpsyAnn, Carol, Suki, TroubleClef, and Paul. You guys are the MVPs. You paid for our motherfucking SoundCloud for 2020, so get hype with that. Outside that, let me think here. I, Craig, am a part of another podcast, Save Our Progress. Listen to us ramble about life shit and decade appreciation in extreme lengthy detail. Cass was on that. Cammy's going to be on the film section.
Yeah.
Maybe that episode, that one will also be another 3 to 4 hour podcast.
We shall see.
God.
Rest in peace. I've done my time.
Cass, did I miss anything else?
Nope.
Cool.
Except for the part
All right.
where you tell me how great everybody here is and how much you love each and every single one of us.
I love you all for supporting the podcast. You all are great hosts.
Don't fucking lie to me.
Wow, that's
Lily,
the most robotic you've ever sounded.
Lily, you're okay, I guess.
Yeah, I suck ass. That's fine.
I
suck eggs.
You suck.
Cammy, your jacket!
Your jacket, though!
Your jacket,
You
though!
suck eggs. Also, just continue to, if you haven't, again, I'm gonna plug this again. Check out the Patreon because we're gonna try and commit to do shit in 2020. Box bits are an actual thing. We need to do those monthly. At least monthly. Me and Lily and Zach have a special planned, which is not anime at all.
No anime, yeah!
So get psyched for that, kids. And future episodes going forward. Thank you for your time, everyone. Have a good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Happy New Year.
Happy
Happy New Year.
Happy belated New Year.